Hello and welcome to yet another edition of the Democratic Newsroom. Our editors are back. We have a new topic of discussion, and finally it does seem it takes a little bit of embarrassment to hopefully address a pressing health emergency that not just Delhi but many big cities across India are facing, which is terrible air, rising AQI levels. We faced immense embarrassment where you had the messy event in the national capital and you have the chief minister where chants of AQI resounded in the Arun Jaitley Stadium. The latest embarrassment is also the fact that in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, the South Africa versus India match was cancelled. Why? Because of smog. So are we finally taking air pollution seriously? Rajdeep, shall we begin with you?
Unfortunately, this is a country where air pollution is not a critical election or a political issue. Elections are the be-all and end-all of politics, it appears, in the age in which we live. And elections work on the Rajniti of Dharm and Jati, caste and religion. That's how you attract people. You don't attract people by the quality of air we breathe or the water we drink. I hope it changes, but the truth of the matter is, and I like to call myself middle class, if I may be allowed to in that. The Indian
You'll get trolled for it. Don't call yourself middle class.
I'm very happy to be trolled. The Indian urban middle class has no real voice when it comes to issues like air pollution. And the poor in this country are far too concerned with basic livelihood issues to worry about the right to breathe. Their concerns are far more basic. You and I today are, may have the benefit of an air purifier that we can get. Can the poor even get that? So I think the fact is, unless there is a massive public awareness campaign, air pollution is not going to be top of the mind. It is only a seasonal issue. And I'm sorry to say, even in the media, you raise it only in November, December. I don't see Preeti Choudhry raising air pollution in January, February, March, doing daily updates. You do weather updates. Why don't you have a pollution update?
No, 1 second. What I love is
no, I'm glad you all are there, but I'm talking
1 second, Preeti Choudhry. What about Rajdeep Sardesai? Rajdeep, you're neither middle class, number one. Rajdeep sir, you're saying you don't have a voice. You have one of the strongest voices in the country. And you're telling me I don't carry it. Do you carry it?
I have been doing air pollution debates year after year.
Are you doing it across the year?
Did you
You're
do it
telling
in
me
Jan?
that?
No, I didn't. No, I'm accepting it.
No,
When
I'll
I
tell
say
you.
media, I'm not trying to claim I'm above it all. I mentioned you as across the media. We follow the news. Let's be honest.
Right.
We follow the news. The news of pollution gets disproportionate importance in November, December because
Disproportionate? What do you mean by that?
it gets the importance it deserves in November, December because AQI levels reach very severe levels, right? But we should be treating this as a round-the-year campaign. If you, and I mean you, I mean the entire media. If the entire media raised public awareness day after day, had a pollution meter, engaged with citizens, made it a media campaign, maybe it will have some effect, but I rather doubt it. Netas, I maintain, win elections on Dharm and Jati, not on the quality of air and water that we have around us.
Fair point, Rajdeep, because also what has happened is finally that the Delhi government has got down from the offensive they were on. They've come out, they've apologized. The Environment Minister of Delhi, Majinder Singh Sirsa, came out and said, listen, I'm sorry, I'm going to try and do my best. Because earlier on, there was a perception, or at least, the way it conducted itself, that they were being very belligerent, saying nobody really cares, they could have gotten away with it. That's changing.
But was that an apology?
Sonal, someone who's done multiple shows on it, tell me.
So I agree, 50-50 as they say with what Rajdeep sir said. Yes, it is not an election issue, but does that mean it should not be? Yes, we don't cover it across the year, but do we cover things like corruption across the year? Do we cover things like traffic across the year? We don't. And it should not be incumbent upon us to take the issue, forward. Politicians who have the wherewithal to deal with this issue should be able to take it. But because of this discussion and because of having done multiple debates, I have 5 reasons why pollution does not become an election mudda in this country. Number 1 is what Rajdeep already mentioned. It's because it does not matter to the poor in the country. The poor in the country, they decide the election mudda. And for them, life is so bloody hard already that they don't have time to think about air. So it will never become an election issue because they are the voting class. They decide what is to be done. Number two, pollution kills slowly. It does not suddenly make you drop dead like COVID. So there is no immediate impact that you see of pollution. You don't see people suddenly dying on the roads like we did during COVID. So it doesn't evoke, that same sentiment. Number three, there is no one villain when it comes to pollution. You have stubble burning, you have vehicles, you have coal, you have firecrackers, you have waste management, you have industries. There are so many things to tackle that politicians don't know where. They love to attack one mudda. Isko ye galat hai, isko theek karte hain. But they are so confused, they don't know what to do. Number four, politicians on this issue get away because our politicians have air purifiers. Till the time the top 2-3 in the country are not coughing for pollution, because of pollution, are not facing ailments from pollution, it will not become a mudda. How many politicians did we see die because of COVID? How many people did we see? Politicians get away because they have the best medical health possible. They are secured, they are always in a clean air bubble, and it does not matter to them. And number five, finally, there is GDP optics, but health has never been a priority in this country. GDP, development, fourth largest economy will always take priority in election mudda compared to health, which is why it is not an election mudda. But I again want to say this, just because it is not, does not mean it should not be.
No, that's quite clear. And this time around, Sneha, you've been following the parliament, you've been, doing multiple stories on this. We've seen some movement in the winter session where pollution is concerned. We've seen multiple, it might be the opposition trying to put the government on the mat on this. We've seen opposition netas wear those masks and come pushing for a debate. We've seen some, which we hadn't the last time around.
True. I think this is all because there was pressure and there was embarrassment, or else we wouldn't have even seen this, I can tell you that. It's a short duration discussion.
Do you think the trigger was, I'm sorry I'm coming in, but do you think the trigger was the action that was taken against the protesters in the national capital?
Absolutely.
Where, young kids were seen being dragged away in police vans, detained. Do you think that was somewhere down the line the trigger?
The government didn't look good doing that, because at the end of the day, there were protests because of air pollution, and there were some other elements who came in and did what they had to. But apart from that, the embarrassment vis-a-vis the messy issue, the very fact from day one, the government was playing down the numbers, even doing a cover-up of the numbers. As we've shown clearly, the AQI figure said something. There was no uniformity going in, sprinkling water at the air monitoring stations. Doing all of that just showed that the government was completely clueless. It's the same government that went to court and said, we should be having green firecrackers during Diwali, and they got that order passed. I wanted to see, and last week we discussed it, a discussion threadbare on how we can fix the problem of dirty air in Delhi. We've had China give us, advice on how they fix this problem. Their situation is similar to ours, vis-a-vis the population, vis-a-vis the challenges that country was facing. But we have our own models. I've just come back from a shoot in Delhi. How many of us know that there are 7 biodiversity parks in Delhi that can help you bring down the AQI by 50%? I went there with a monitor to show it, that right on the streets, the AQI was 300. Inside, it was 150.
And that is where the AQI meters are installed in the national capital, also in 29 areas.
That's right.
And by the way, it's not just just to,
So we do.
this is an issue not just of Delhi anymore.
Exactly.
Look at Mumbai. I was in Mumbai earlier this week. Look at the level of sea pollution. Look at construction pollution.
Do something.
Nothing has
They
changed.
managed to do something.
No, they're by the sea. That's what Mumbai managed.
No.
Mumbai's also
No,
by the
you're
sea.
getting it wrong. No,
I
you're
think the
getting it
humidity
wrong.
levels is
it's by the sea. The wind picks up and clears.
Mumbai was 300, 400 2 weeks ago. They sent out 90 no construction notices. They cut down construction. Of course, the weather patterns helped.
It's different.
But they did
take
action.
Okay, I want to go to Siddharth, because Siddharth, the fact is, it's not a Delhi issue. We know that. As we speak right now, a match, between India and South Africa in Lucknow was put off primarily because of smog. Smog was something we didn't even know that it was actually pollution. We called it fog, but it is smog. It's across the country and it needs to be addressed.
Okay, in the
A national issue rather than a state issue.
In the interest of time, and I frankly don't want to speak on the politics around pollution, but what is practical to solve it. 2-3 things to keep in mind. Number one, I think we need to also be prepared that as our country grows economically, there will be more industrial output and activity. Therefore, as we celebrate GDP growth, our regulatory infrastructure, frameworks and policies should also be designed to ensure that they don't have negative impacts on pollution. Pollution in India 50 years ago and pollution 50 years hence from today will also depend on the level of industrial activity. Second point, and look at the last 10 years or 15 years when this has become a mainstream issue. I don't really agree that it's not a mainstream issue. It is increasingly becoming a mainstream issue. We have all been caught, from the regulator to the judiciary, the policy maker and average citizens, and the media alone is not a stakeholder in this, is that we have chased false solutions. Episodic GRAP. Have you forgotten that there was...
Odd and even.
Have you forgotten that in Delhi, literally hundreds of crore were spent on a small stretch of road during Sheila Dikshit's time, and it was that bus corridor.
BRT corridors.
Why did it not take off? One, there were design issues with that, but because there is a burgeoning middle class which wants the freedom to own its car. Car ownership is linked to one's individual identity. So hang on there. So
but Siddharth, we don't have that kind of public infrastructure and public transport where a middle class
connectivity.
person can leave their car and decide to take public transport. I'd like to take public transport, but I can't.
No, let me just complete this point. Therefore, we should not look at it as a Delhi-specific issue. I have one point of criticism with what the Delhi government has done. You just said, and it's very draconian, it impinges on the rights, because even commuters have rights, which is to say no vehicle from the NCR. Remember, NCR is not just a concept, it is almost a quasi-legal entity. You have said anything below BS6 cannot enter Delhi. Hello, are people from Faridabad, Gurgaon, Noida and other parts of this vast megapolis, don't they have rights? These are again episodic false solutions which have not yielded results. Final point really, of the 5 contributors, the key issues that are responsible for pollution, I think we need to see the failure of our river cleanup programs and therefore be realistic that if we have failed to stop pure sewerage being dumped into our rivers for years now, despite spending thousands of crore, I think it will be totally unrealistic to expect the overall system
to come in here.
give you clean air.
Preeti,
so
I have to say
problematic.
something about the river, because I've been working a lot in the Yamuna. Yamuna and the banks of Yamuna do not require beautification. They don't require concretization, which is happening on the banks. What Yamuna and the banks, 52 kilometers of banks in the Delhi area, require biodiversity parks to be set up. And these are
May I add, remember COVID,
I thought we were
10 seconds, remember COVID, the Yamuna was, you could actually see the water, it was not a cesspool. Why? Because industrial activity stopped.
Can I just
So now this is linked.
But the fact
So
is,
one second,
Let's go one by one. Yeah, let's go one by one.
the fact is, when you say that you hope that pollution will be mainstreamed or that, and you believe that environment is being mainstreamed, please show me where. Over the last few years, and we can stretch this back in time,
I'll
but
give you an
particularly
example,
over the last decade, one has seen systematical weakness of environmental protection to fast-track development projects. Come to Goa. Look at the manner in which the entire regulatory
that's what
system
I'm saying.
has been completely destroyed. The acceleration.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Let him finish.
The regulatory dilutions.
Right after him.
The Forest Conservation Act, the Environmental Impact Assessment notifications, they have stripped protection of our forests. Look at the deforestation taking place, allowing projects often to operate without prior environmental clearances. Look at the time in which environmental clearances are immediately given to large industrial projects without looking at the environmental impact. Look at the way the coastal rules are being violated in state after state. Don't look at it only in pollution.
Yes.
Pollution is one aspect
I
of your
completely
larger
agree.
commitment to environment.
I
And the fact
completely
is,
agree.
they talk about this in rarefied seminars or go to climate change conferences. The reality on the ground, go to Uttarakhand, look at Himachal, look at Goa. Forests are being denuded time out and no one cares and no one is
Rajdeep, let me
penalized.
bring in
That is the
Sonu.
reality.
Okay,
I'm
Sonu,
sorry,
go
there
ahead.
is-
Make your point.
This is so problematic.
What is problematic?
This is so problematic that you think air pollution is an environment problem.
Why
It
not?
is a health problem.
Allow.
It
It's
is
both.
not an environment problem.
The
You cannot
consequence
look
is a
at
health
no,
problem.
You have to look
it
at air
results
pollution.
in a health problem.
Yeah, allow.
It
No.
is- this is-
Everyone,
this is
please
the
allow
problem-
everyone.
This is
each
the
other
problem
time.
that we have, that every time we speak about health, we speak about direct impact, it is always pitted against development. That's not the case.
Why should it be in
No,
silos?
it's not.
Health
It should
and
not be-
environment, They're all connected.
No.
Allow
No.
Rajdeep, allow her to
I
make her
pay
point.
Where is
a
your gavel
life
today?
tax. I pay a life tax for staying in Delhi, NCR and North Delhi, right? I'm shedding years of my life, of my kids' life. My kids are getting dumber. They are not able to concentrate in school.
But it's an environment.
It is,
Yeah,
no,
it's an
it is
environment
health.
issue.
You have to
It's
stop.
health which is impacted by environment.
But
That's
we are
what
not talking
argument is.
across
No
conversation.
other environment. The health of the planet and the health of the human being, they're all in sync. I understand that. But let's come
So
on.
what should
And
we
on
do?
GRAP.
Okay, I wanna-
And on GRAP. No, once
that, we'll go
we've
to
got to
Sneha.
address GRAP. For everybody who says that GRAP is a problem, I am sorry, with the rights of the commuters, am
We're
I
not
right
saying-
to
I never
live?
said that. I never said that.
You said GRAP, why is BS6
No,
now
it's very
becoming a
unfair.
standard?
It's very unfair.
Why is that unfair?
Because
There
air
is a
pollution
short-term
doesn't
measure
stop
that
at
has to be
Faridabad
taken.
border. It comes from 100
inconvenience
kilometers.
One
to
by one.
people. Instant inconvenience to people.
And what about inconvenience of life?
There are people who are living. No,
What about people who are
It's
standing
not
up in
people to be
emergency?
blamed.
Let's shut
Ban
down
vehicles,
everything
no,
like
no,
that.
no, ban vehicles out of nowhere.
Let's shut down
You can
everything
find
like
that
that.
level.
Guys,
It's
let's
shocking
not
to
no
say
point
you are
talking
very
over
sad
each other.
that you do
Sneha,
this.
1 second, hard cut. No point talking over each other.
Right.
Okay, you made your point. I'm going to go across to
Yeah.
Sneha now. Make your point. But Sneha,
Three
with what
things.
Rajdeep said.
Yeah.
With what Rajdeep
Totally.
said, that there is now, mainstreaming of understanding that it is a health hazard and also which stems from a larger environment problem which we
Absolutely.
refuse to address. And I'll give you why. You said, give me one example, Rajdeep. I'll give you a very recent example. Would you have ever thought that an entire stadium will resound in chants of AQI? Where would it have happened? It would have been messy, but the chants were AQI. That means that the middle class, and one might say only the poor vote, the middle class has a huge chunk of that vote, is somewhere down the line being sensitized to the fact that they're suffering.
Thankfully.
I am very happy to hear that. I was reassured, but I can
But
assure
it's
you at
a-
election time, what will I hear? Religious slogans.
No, come on.
Dash,
I think election should happen in winters.
No.
all
I think
that-
election should
Ma'am,
happen in winter. That's the only time it will become an election. Let people go for
Make your point, then I'll go to
actually
Sneha,
just
and then
before
we'll
you
take
go to
final
I
comments.
just linked
Yeah.
it to the wider issue of how serious. It's not as if health is in a different silo to environment. My larger problem is we do not front load these issues even with environmental protection. We are looking and debating it because it's happening in Delhi. Let me be honest.
Yeah.
The fact is, go to Himachal Pradesh, look at the deforestation, Uttarakhand, look at the way my state of Goa is being systematically destroyed
I say
because of
something?
lack of environmental
Okay, we are
protection.
going to
All
go
of
to
that comes
Sneha and then
together.
take final
Can I
comments.
say
Sneha,
something?
make
In the
your
month of October, my state of Meghalaya, it is a hill station. My home is Shillong. And not too far away is a small city which sees a lot of industrial activity, Birni Hut. Just look it up. It is the most polluted city or town in India. It was, in fact, a few months
Haridwar,
ago.
yes.
Small cities.
Rishikesh's
So
AQI today
we
was
can't
over
just say
300.
metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
Second, I agree with Rajdeep sir. Environment and
Don't
health,
serve me
it
hard.
can't be.
Go
I
ahead.
agree with Rajdeep that health and environment can't be seen in isolation. Now, why do I say this? We discussed Yamuna. The reason why we discussed Yamuna is because the river and the manner in which the banks are getting devastated has a direct bearing on the quality of air in Delhi. And I'm going to prove it to you. Because like I said, the biodiversity that we see and the restoration of that has an immediate impact on the quality of it. It's a long-term solution. Fourth, on odd and even, not the best thing to do, but that's a knee-jerk reaction. Again, GRAP 4, not the best thing to do. Hundreds of people are going to be inconvenienced to move from NCR, Noida, Delhi, Noida, Faridabad, Gurgaon. All of them are going to get inconvenienced, and that's the reason why that's not the best solution.
Go all in with
but
public
that's the only solution
Go all in
right
with
now.
public transport. Do what China did. You make sure that your public transport is so
Preeti,
strong that
Preeti-
you can then take measures like odd and
Preeti,
even and the
Delhi-
one that we were discussing.
Delhi, despite having amongst the highest population densities in this country, if you look at data for the last 11 years, has the worst record or among the worst when it comes to public bus
Exactly.
purchases.
Yes.
So, but let me come back to that point. Episodic, knee-jerk, false solutions will not work. The choice is, God forbid a lockdown again, you could see miles from your rooftop in Delhi. The Yamuna was clean. There were monkeys on trees, and you could breathe there. So it's a balance. It's a balance.
Right.
It's a balance. Knee-jerk solutions won't work. I spent half an hour before coming to this show looking at 6 or 7 reports. My belief is you need a 10-15 year all around the year strategy. 365 days, not 3 days.
Yes.
That's a good point. Sonal, make your point.
See, okay, this demo newsroom really has an impact. Okay, I'm not known to lose my cool, but this is like really irking me up. But I just want everybody to remember that 1.6 million people in the country have died because of air pollution. Please be very cognizant of that.
But why aren't we cognizant? We are being cognizant.
No, nobody is being
More died
cognizant.
because of
Otherwise, no one
diabetes.
How? No, but that's not a comparison.
come on.
Health is a consequence of bad air.
Absolutely.
Please
No,
agree on
absolutely.
that.
The reason we are
bad
here-
health doesn't come first and then bad air.
I think we're all on the same side.
And bad air is a
Allow-
consequence of you not front-loading environmental protection.
Agreed.
All right, okay, allow her time. But Sonal, I think, all of us are on the same side here.
I have a hypothesis
Make your
on
point.
why people don't think air pollution is a problem in
But
Delhi.
who doesn't think?
we all
people think.
Hands
People
up.
don't think it's enough.
Hands up.
I don't think. But it's
Make
a
your
problem,
point,
but you
make
will
your
not wear a mask. Do you wear a mask?
Of course.
Of course.
When you go out, do you wear? Do you wear?
No.
I wear one.
I wear a mask.
But that's my choice. अरे इसमें क्या है? मेरा अपना मर्जी है ना. But I am cognizant of the problem. I am saying it is a severe problem.
But in
it is a
newsroom
direct
debate
consequence
after
of
newsroom
economic
debate,
growth.
Okay, now allow her to put her point forward.
कितना एयर पोल्यूशन, अरे कितना डिबेट करेंगे, ये इलेक्शन का इशू नहीं है. अरे भाई हम टीवी चैनल सिर्फ इलेक्शन का इशू
India has highest power production from coal.
Okay, now, Siddharth, allow her to
For
come on.
years you did not allow nuclear power.
Siddharth,
Absolutely.
I'm on the gavel today. I don't know why we're getting so heated up on this. I
Where
think
is
we're
your
all in the
gavel?
same.
That's
I
the
don't
reason
know.
why, Siddharth, when Delhi
One
banned
second, Sneha,
tandoors,
hard
it was
cut.
not a...
Hard cut. Wait, make your
My
point.
hypothesis, and this is just to sort of calm everybody down, and I want you to think about it as well. Do you know that 10 micrograms increase in PM 2.5 or particulate matter, as they say, only 10 microgram increase in particulate matters makes your mind function 1 to 2% less. That's the statistic. What does that mean?
Cardiopulmonary disease, it leads
अरे-
to stroke,
अरे
it
आप
leads to
बात
type
नहीं
2
समझ
diabetes.
रहे
सब मान
हैं।
लिया
Make a
ना.
final
आप बात
point
नहीं
there.
समझ रहे हैं. What does that mean? It means we are dumber as an entire generation or a clan or a big group of people who live in Delhi NCR. Okay, that's what's happening. But on the issue of GRAP being knee-jerk, this and that, etc. Come on, guys. People are dying. Kids
Yeah,
are being
but-
born. You need.
So
yes,
we are
you
not
need
saying-
a plan.
Preeti,
but
can
you
I
can't
ask
ignore
you a
it.
question?
No,
Preeti?
it is
One
knee-jerk.
second.
Preeti,
Sonal.
can I ask
It's
you a
knee-jerk.
question?
Siddharth asked me a question.
Is nuclear power better or coal-fired power plants? Just give me an answer, please.
Okay, one second. Okay, listen.
What have you done for 30 years as a country on nuclear power? Manmohan Singh signed the
Scale
civil
it
nuclear
down.
agreement.
Everyone scale it down.
Yesterday, the government or day before, the government
Okay,
of India
Siddharth,
is now
one
changing
second.
that law.
Okay, everyone just scale it down.
What are you
okay,
saying?
one second. Everyone just calm down. The fact is we're all on the
There
same
is no
side.
episodic answer to this problem. It is a multi-decadal reform
I'm hard
that you
cut,
need.
Siddharth. Now,
You
okay.
need multi-decadal reform.
Siddharth, come on. Okay, we're
You're
all.
increasing the noise pollution.
I know.
That's, by the way, another
good
issue
one.
that needs to be addressed.
That's a good one, right? Good. That's a very good one.
Thank you.
But no, we're all on the
हम
same
भी
side
कभी
here.
good one देते हैं.
No, we're all on the same side here. Where GRAP is concerned, knee-jerk, yes, but nobody is saying that don't have it. We're all
Short-term,
saying
yes.
it needs
I
to
never
be.
said that.
Short-term,
but
knee-jerk,
not
because you
knee-jerk.
need to address larger core issues.
Yes.
I think that is something that we
And
all
we
agree
need, and
with.
we need the best minds on this. You see, the problem
Exactly.
over the years has been that I come back to it. Environment was never treated for the
Rajdeep,
longest
there are
time as a
beautiful
priority.
reports.
We
I
have
will
such
give you
wonderful
this.
minds
But they're
in
only
this
beautiful.
country.
Rajdeep, there are
Are
beautiful
part of our
reports.
reports.
Politicians love bans. We should not
Okay.
support bans of any kind.
Environmentalists have been saying हमारी सुनते नहीं है, हमारा सुनना बंद कर दिया, because we scientists बन के क्या फायदा, contractor बन जाते, is what one scientist told me today, associated with the Delhi government. Contractor ही बन जाता because they are not finding solutions the way it has to be found.
Okay,
The
I want to
best
just take
minds are
quick
not on
comments.
it.
Quick comments. Do you think something is shifting, Siddharth? Do you think that we are finally maybe looking at it from a lens which is a lot more serious than we have in the past?
Yes, the youth is far more aware. Social media
The
is
middle
helping
class
them.
is waking up to it, I feel.
My belief is more than the middle class, it's the youth who are also cognizant of this issue
Okay,
because
one
they have
line.
more exposure.
One line.
I think I have to thank Messi for coming to India, raising the issue of AQI. Had those AQI chants not happened, had Rekha Gupta hi chants not happened, this would not have been an issue. Please remember, Aam Aadmi Party was thrown out of power in Delhi only because people were fed up of excuses. People voted BJP in power to say, Mayor aapka, CM aapka, PM aapka, LG aapka. और अब जब सब बीजेपी के हैं उसके बाद भी कोई solution नहीं निकल पा रहा है, that is what is angering people.
No, and and the fact is it's not just a Delhi issue because even though I am very proud of my country, but I'd like a bit of embarrassment where the latest match, which was supposed to take place in Lucknow between South Africa and India, was put off. Put off why? Because of smog. Let it make international headlines. Let us be a little more embarrassed that we actually act on it.
Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going
the
to change.
voice of doom.
As long as you have some, as long as you have some,
Preeti,
as long as you have.
Can I respond? Delhi changed it. On the road to Noida from Delhi, you had a fly ash plant. Delhi was the largest implementer of CNG buses. Our white
That was
shirts.
not through a court order. Not through,
But it happened,
not through
Rajdeep.
politicians seeing the future. We have politicians who look in the present, only what will win them the
All
next
I'm saying,
election.
Nothing will change.
Unless
Okay,
we have
change-
done it.
So that's
We have
what
done
happened.
it. We have done it. We can do more.
This side is not speaking. Now, you
let me
make
give
your
you
point.
let me give you a positive, right?
That's one line.
Very quickly, a positive is Surat. Surat, if you recall, in the 1990s, after the plague was seen as one of the most dirty cities in the country. Surat changed because of the efforts that the citizens and more importantly the bureaucracy made there.
Bureaucracy
They had
is the opposite.
enlightened
Messaging.
bureaucracy.
Nobody
If
else
you don't-
speaks, only
if you
Sneha will
don't-
speak.
If you don't have enlightened bureaucrats and if
One
you have
line, Sneha.
substandard quality politicians,
point.
nothing's
Rajdeep,
going
point
to
is
change.
over.
Two things, please don't say one line, two things. Messaging from the top. Will the Prime Minister come out and say that this is a problem and we need to address it like he did during COVID, asking everybody to wear masks? Thukna mat is what he said.
Maybe
Nobody
you should
wanted
do
to
an 8
spit.
p.m. prime time address to the nation
Plus-
on
plus-
pollution.
I'm
Rajdeep,
also-
will you take a little bit of responsibility? Will you pick up pollution as a mainstay in your
I'm going
debates
to- I'm
going
going to
forward?
give you
Come on.
stories.
I have a discussion on it today. I've had
Not during the
no,
winter.
No, 1 minute.
Okay, I'm shutting
I
this
am
show now.
suggesting
I'm
that
closing
India today make 2020. Let's put it there. India today ensure that in the spirit of the Democratic Newsroom, make 2026 the year where India today will run a sustained campaign across
Which we
India
are.
on air pollution.
And which we are. And we're going to end on that. Thank you for watching.